what advice would you give to any aspiring, property manager or developer?
Keep your eyes open. You have two ears and one mouth. You should listen twice as much as you talk. And study things. And you can do that on your own. Study a shopping center that's doing well and one that isn't doing well. Maybe the access is poor, and maybe you can improve it by showing the city how a left in and a left out would be beneficial, and it would get better tenants and more rent and more assessment and more taxes and more jobs. Get as much education as you can, and just don't be greedy. There'll be enough for you.
Welcome to the Mastering Property Management Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Sarbit. Join me as we delve into candid conversations with industry experts to uncover their strategies and insights for achieving success in property management. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, let's elevate your property management skills together. Hi, everybody. I'm Jared Sarbit with Mastering Property Management. Today, I have the amazing honor to have Sandy Shindleman here with me. Sandy Shindleman is the founder and CEO of Shindico, based in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Also happens to be a second cousin of mine, so I have to throw that in there. But I don't know if we've ever met, Sandy. Like in person. I know you know my dad well, but maybe when I was a little kid, I may have met you. But
yeah, I don't recall, but you look familiar.
Yeah, good. Yeah, maybe some pictures here and there. So yeah, good. Well, it's amazing to have you here, Sandy. You've built, maybe you won't call it, but I'll call it an empire in Manitoba. Everywhere, I grew up in Brandon, Manitoba, but everywhere you go out there, you see Shindico. Whether it's development or property management, you name it. And so I would love you to just kind of run me through your story. Take me back to the beginning of as far back as you really would like, and just kind of the milestones that got you along the way to where you are today, and then talk about where you're at today with Shindico.
Well, the milestones were growing up in an agricultural family and a grocery store, corner grocery store, much like your grandfather in a different town in Portage la Prairie. And we operated that in an abattoir and a feedlot. So we kept busy in Portage la Prairie. And I wanted to get into the real estate business from an early age, and was able to accomplish that when I was 18 and got licensed as a real estate broker. Okay. I got licensed as a broker and not a salesman because they sent the wrong exam out to Portage la Prairie for me to take. So okay. I was a broker. So that happened rather quickly. Cool. And I was trying to sell a few things and farms and whatever, and was always interested in the commercial aspect of it, because at 18 years old, no one's going to buy a house from you. You don't know anything about a house.
Right.
But the numbers are the numbers, and usually the people you're dealing with understand the numbers at least as well as you do, or better. And so I embarked on working in the commercial real estate business. And once we started developing with very small projects, 3,000-4,000 feet, converting a gas station or something of that nature. Of course, we managed them too, because we didn't have any money. So, the $200 a month property management fees were meaningful.
Right.
Whatever they were. And so I operated by myself. Then my brother joined me in, I think it was 84 when the abattoir were sold. He came in, and we've been together, of course, ever since. My other brother's in Europe. He lives in Europe, also in the real estate business.
Okay.
So we can share best practices back and forth.
Great.
So really, the real estate business is based on what I saw from my father and mother, how they operated in Portage la Prairie. And that's where we came up with our mission statement, which is quite short.
Yeah.
It's not our original mission statement, it's our second. The original was so long, and I can't find a copy of it anywhere. When we moved, I had that as one of the things that they should look for. Find our old mission statement.
Right.
Our old mission statement was one that I stole from somebody and changed a few words, but I can't remember any of it. Our new one is succeeding by helping others succeed. And every word is important there. It's not succeeding by helping other people succeed, for example. It would have been easier to get on a business card. Because that isn't really what we do. We have to be aware internally that we're succeeding by helping others succeed.
Yeah.
We're not the government. We're not a not-for-profit. We don't just help people succeed. That's how we succeed. And so if somebody phones this office and wants to put up a sign for their child's gymnastics school, the receptionist doesn't have to take the message, pass it to the assistant property manager, who passes it to the property manager, and who has to get a hold of one of us to say yes. Because the registration may be over by then.
Yeah.
So they should know that if they're succeeding by helping these people succeed, and not to the detriment of another tenant, don't put your sign up in front of, block the sign of another tenant,
right,
or something like that, and put some blocks under it so it doesn't go through the asphalt, so that our tenants don't have another expense for us granting this. But you can go down to the receptionist, can give them that approval. That's done. We don't have to all these things because they're succeeding.
Yeah, beautiful.
Helping those others succeed.
Beautiful.
And so that's internally and externally. And if we just focus on that, it seems to go good. I mean, we were able to grow substantially to, by Manitoba standards, one of the larger developer owner managers, and it's gone well.
Yeah, no question about it. So that is really, really smart. I mean, a lot of people's mission statements are, focused internally. But you're looking externally, and I think you see that in communities in general. When others are helping others, that's when communities really succeed or successful.
Right.
And everyone's lifting each other up. It's not a internal competition and jealousy, and no, it's like listen. You do well. If I do well, everyone's doing well. Let's get everyone up to this level. I love that. I really love that. That's powerful. And so tell me. So that brings you to today. I mean, there's, I'm sure, a ton in between. But tell me, today, where is Shindico? Like, are there some metrics that you can kind of give to kind of give an idea of?
Yes. As of today, we bought another management company, which will be taking over in about a month or so. And that company has been around for 100 years. Wow. That's Ackman Management.
Okay.
And about 2 months ago, we launched our general construction business, S&R Construction, Sandy and Robert, because we couldn't get any of the other names approved. And after a month of trying to get names approved, we decided we better get on with it and build a building. So we did that.
Nice.
And we've appointed a new COO, also named Alex Ackman, whose family was and is Ackman Management.
Okay.
Young man, very skilled, very smart. We elevated a lady that has been here for 15 years or more to CFO. Again, very smart, very intuitive, very good training and mentoring. So we've kind of figured that part out for the first time, really,
Wow.
in 50 years.
Yeah.
And so that I can do a little less or a lot less. I'm not planning to leave the building yet.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that we're in such good hands that I can.
Amazing. You're focusing on building that legacy. Yeah,
Right. We don't want to sell and have 50 employees looking over their shoulder.
Right.
So the employees all know that this is longevity
Mm-hmm.
for them, and they can count on careers if they're wanting to excel in the real estate business.
Fantastic.
So we have our brokerage division, which is, I guess, boutique because it's not huge. But we have a pretty good market share on retail and industrial.
Yes.
We have the management, of course, because we had to be.
Yeah.
We do select third-party management, but only select. Because we got to make sure that the manpower is here, right, and that we only offer one level of service. So we can't be in the race to the bottom for pricing and stuff, because our people are compensated at the top of any scale, and we like that. Yeah. But we don't want to do it in any other way. And so having one level of service, it doesn't matter if we're managing a Max convenience store or a donut house, or a shopping center. Yeah. So we have managed for some family offices, pension funds, Canadian pension funds, and that gives us a pretty big swath. I think we manage 5 million feet.
Awesome.
We have a pipeline with a joint venture partner, Ontario Teachers, of several thousand apartments. We're partnered with a company called Main and Main Asset Management. We do all the back office here, and that office is in Toronto, and we're building several thousand units in Ottawa, Toronto, and Montreal, and Hamilton.
Wow.
That's the Main and Main business.
Okay.
And I said the joint venture here will be the biggest that we've done. It's a $2 billion deal.
Wow.
With our partners at Cadillac Fairview. So that's the planning is going on now, and we expect to be in front of the city of Winnipeg and over the next few months for our final entitlements on north of Polo Park Shopping Center. We've added residential density to our shopping centers. We've added 248 suites to this project across the street from us called Grant Park Festival. We intend to add about another 900 suites there over the next, I would say, 7 years.
Wow.
We're going to do mixed use against the Cadona Place Shopping Center with apartments and retail. We anticipate probably not putting the retail in the same building, but next door. I wouldn't want to have a pizza delivery underneath my balcony. So succeeding by helping others succeed, you may need to get some sleep. So we put them in separate buildings, and we've done that very well on Taylor Avenue and other places. We still are in several rural communities. We've developed in Winkler. We have developed in Sault Ste. Marie, Thunder Bay, Selkirk, and Portage, and Winkler, and who knows where else. So we're active in small communities, helping them succeed, helping them build their tax base and jobs.
Yes.
So that's been very good for us and the communities that we work in. And so we've added that. With Ackman's come, I think, 1,000 or 1,200 suites and an industrial portfolio from Vancouver to Montreal.
Okay. Holy cow.
So and that'll be integrated. I think the next integration move starts next week with our people going over to their office and their people coming over to our office until such time as we get the furniture for the main floor for allowing for us to expand.
Gotcha.
So that's, and Alex is doing all of that with other people here. We've got Colin lined up, and he's been here for a couple of months running the construction. We're self-performing on a new warehouse. We're starting in a month, 84,000 feet on spec. We only have one more building in that park to do. We've built two, starting the third, and the fourth one is 105,000 feet. We're continuing to increase the densities and refresh what we have with facades and pad buildings to keep it higher up in people's minds.
Yes.
We're really a low leverage operation. We've acquired some buildings in partnership on Pembina Highway, 189 units. We're working on a development acquisition, rather. Beside that, on Pembina Highway, another building on Corden Avenue that they're doing some due diligence starting tomorrow. We're very busy. I'm busier than I've ever been. Bringing the next generation into the business, them being more aggressive, but not too aggressive. As I'm slowing down, they're ramping up. So it's fun to see.
Wow. Holy cow, that's a lot. I can't believe that you were able to list that all off like that. I mean, the amount of detail in each one of those would be so tremendous. And
I couldn't do it without the help that I've got.
Yeah, right. No question. No question. That's really amazing. So to get here, I mean, you started buying your own properties, started with really nothing, managing them yourself. What were the qualities that got you to this level? Like, there's so many people that aspire and dream of what you've accomplished.
I didn't have a personal overhead.
Yeah.
And really still don't. I just built my first house a year ago. Wow. I'm 66.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a huge personal overhead. And didn't have a lot of distractions. Worked hard. My wife works with me. She's a financial person, CPA.
Yeah.
She works hard. My brother works harder than I do. She works harder than I do.
Wow.
So we're working all the time. We were brought up to prize work as opposed to success.
Yeah.
Just keep working at it. I had a pool hall when I was a kid in Portage-la Prairie, that my brother helped me with. When I went to school, and feeding cattle at the same time, buying scrap metal, buying gold and silver when that was a thing, and just various entrepreneurial things.
Yeah.
And just keeping focused and wanting the best for my people. That's why we built the building we're in, because I wanted everyone to have parking by the door, and I wanted everyone to have lots of room and geothermal and all of this kind of stuff.
Wow.
And so they can be happy in the space in a safe environment, etc. We're not downtown and for our office. We're in the, suburbs. We're at the edge of River Heights and Taylor and Waverly. We like it here. My house is 7 minutes away. Used to be 5 minutes away, but a lot of traffic in the last few years. That commute bigger.
Sure.
7 minutes seems like a long time, unless you live someplace else, so then it's not worth mentioning.
Exactly.
That's all. It just it's a contact sport.
Yeah.
It's a relationship business.
Yes.
We think the three most important aspects of real estate are relationships, 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 as opposed
Yes.
to location, location, location. Of
Uh-huh.
course, you have to have the location.
Yeah.
So I was a CCIM senior instructor for over 40 years. I just
Yeah.
retired last October, a year
Yeah.
ago. Involved in the SIOR, Society of Industrial and Office Realtors, uh, along with the CCIM. I'm a CRE, a counselor of real estate as well as a fellow of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors.
Holy cow.
Because I had to get some letters behind my name for my mother, because there's no MDs or LLBs to be handed. I left that to my brothers to get,
Uh-huh. Okay.
MBAs, etc.
Gotcha.
So the big education I didn't have, but I studied hard and I studied long, and we were able to build a business that we have. I guess when the merger is complete, we'll have about 60 people here
Okay.
inside, and another probably same amount outside.
Okay.
And then the construction we're ramping up. So we're doing some hiring, superintendents, etc.
Wow.
So we'll
Yeah.
have a few more there.
Okay.
And then it's open field for anything else that is really an add-on to this business.
Yeah.
So, like construction, anything else is an add-on. We
Right.
do assessment appeals for our own portfolio and our managed portfolio. We're not a fee-for-service provider in that, but we do that work.
Mm.
We do financing. Diane, who's my wife, looks after our debt.
Mm-hmm.
And we manage our debt by we have a lot of dry powder. We pay off mortgages when they get down. We don't necessarily refinance them for the sake of refinancing them.
Yeah.
They throw off cash flow. Banks like it.
Yeah. Right. For sure. For sure. Wow. So like, I mean, it sounds like you have an incredible work ethic. You must, from an early age.
I did.
You did.
I did have an incredible work.
Yeah.
Not as good now.
Yeah. Fair enough. And you're entitled to that.
I like to get home to catch Jeopardy at 5:30.
Awesome. Who's hosting Jeopardy these days?
Ken Jennings is on this week.
Okay. Very nice. Well, that's amazing. And I think beyond the work ethic is a true passion and love for what you do. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to build something that helps the community with taxes, which are too high. But anyway,
agreed.
And to provide jobs.
Yeah.
I had a blog. I didn't even know what a blog was. But I was looking out my window one day, and we were building a Walmart supercenter just down the street. And I was watching trucks coming and going, doing the excavation. They were going by my office.
Yeah.
And it was early in the year, like we got an early jump on it, an early spring jump on it, because we like the ground to be frozen for that work.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw every name you could imagine on a truck. Joe's Hauling, Main Street Hauling, the main contractor for the undergrounds and the paving, etc. was a company called Maple Leaf Construction, and they had subcontracted some of the trucking. I mean, they have probably 200 trucks of their own. But it was nice to see the trucks go by, 4 going one way, 4 coming back.
Beautiful.
And that's when I realized that what we were really creating is jobs.
Uh-huh.
During the construction, and eventually jobs in the store when it got open. And we've since added a few buildings to that site, and we like seeing the action. We like We just extended a strip. We built a 13,000-foot expansion, and that's fully leased up to great tenants. The industrial, we've leased up to great tenants. And we're always prospecting to do more business and to do better business.
Yeah.
With relationships we have across Canada and the U.S.
Wonderful. That's a really powerful statement that you said. Watching those trucks go in and out, and I can really relate to that. And as some listeners may know, I own a janitorial company, and to a totally different level. You're a much bigger level than I ever have been. But I remember, when we first started driving around the city and seeing the lights on in the buildings, and I could see in the windows the people cleaning, and that was a really powerful moment for me. And it was like it was an extension of what I've created, and and it's just so beautiful to see all this action, everything moving, and it's like, wow, this came from my ideas, at some point.
It is really heartwarming. I know that with the war in the Ukraine, many men have come here. And they show up to the construction trailer. They're not sending in resumes on Indeed or whatever the name of the Zip recruiter. They show up at the trailer and they're looking for work. And who's ever in the trailer that moment, whether it's the painting contractor, the stucco contractor, the window installers, or an electrician, grabs those people. And they keep them on. They're not just for the job. They keep them on. Just showing up at the trailer gets you a job.
Yeah, it's giving people purpose.
Yeah, I think we got 70 or 80 on the site.
Wow! Holy cow!
Yeah,
that's fantastic. That's special.
So it's very nice. Good. I mean, my grandparents were immigrants here. They weren't welcomed with open arms, I don't think, and we're changing it up to welcome them with open arms.
Yeah, well done, incredible. I kind of want to shift gears a little bit. Talk about the industry in general. Since the days that you started to today, I'm sure it's changed quite a bit. So there's kind of a twofold question. I want to say, what have you seen change, and then where do you see it going? Do you see some trends, as things evolve?
Investing in technology is something that small real estate companies didn't do, and large real estate companies took a long time to do. They were all working on it. So that was one thing. We've always been big on technology, big on software, big on research. Sure. So when we were 45 people, which we are in this office until Tuesday of next week, we have 3 people in marketing and research. Most companies of our size do not have any people in that field. So we have all the demographic software that anybody would have. And we're closer to it that we do a pretty good job of anticipating. When we manage property asset management, we have all of our tenants broken down by NAIC codes. So we can say, what's our exposure to groceries, convenience stores, fashion, how do we lower that? How do we grow that? And so we invest a lot in software, customization. And we have had in-house legal for probably 20 years at least.
Okay.
And they're integral to the management of our company. Our general counsel is, we're not running a law firm here. It's development work.
Okay. Brilliant. Right. Very cool. What would you say is, like, out of all the years of experience you've gone through, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've come across? I mean, we've gone through COVID, we've gone through high interest rates, low interest rates, and then high interest rates again. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it all. What are some of the challenges that you've come across that have really been, tough, and how did you overcome them?
Well, city entitlements and restrictions have slowed down our industry, not just us. And it's too bad that at lower interest rates, more things weren't approved for us and others who could have been building and providing jobs, etc.
Yes.
There is some talk of development as of right, that if you have land, you don't have to always fight a rezoning, which nobody wants anything, anytime, but people want their taxes to go up. And we're asking people to let us share the burden of property taxes by building a building. Building a building in the neighborhood. So that's that entitlement process and kind of the woke attitude of that kind of planning. It's hard on people. It's hard on the jobs. They don't see it as, we're providing jobs, not only in construction, but I don't build a building to be vacant. Somebody's got to be working there and getting a salary. Just like you saw those people providing janitorial service, if the building isn't there, you're not looking up and seeing the lights on.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. I always say, the best solution to social services and, a tough economy is jobs. Right. And is stimulating the economy through corporate trade and building businesses and small businesses. That's what will get people off the street. That will give people purpose, and you know it very well. So city red tape is kind of been the challenge. Red tape in general.
It's been a challenge. We're in a high tax environment in Canada anyway. And so we have to work within that environment. We don't expect that to change anytime soon. So we work that way, and as long as everyone gets on the same page, and I never thought when I wanted to be a developer that was a pejorative word, whereas over time it's gotten that way. All I know is we build places for people to work. People have to work in building the places. I don't swing the hammer. And then we have the right to pay taxes forever, an annuity to the municipality and the school boards. So we think we're good for the communities we work in. We've been doing a few acquisitions and renovations, and not just new construction now, and repositioning things. And we're always excited about the next deal and the newest deal, and that's what keeps us going.
Wonderful. What is one of the most memorable jobs that you've ever done, in all the years? Is there any job that really sticks out in your mind that you're truly proud of? I'm sure there's many, but
I really haven't had time to reflect on it. I like building in my hometown and building a grocery store when we were in the grocery store business. Building some restaurants because I eat in restaurants. That's fun. Taking unused brownfield sites covered with power lines and things, and getting rid of that and turning it into something like we did on Taylor Avenue. Repositioning apartments and giving people better places to live. Renovation and lifting people up. We took over a little building for somebody that we managed for, and it was just a disgusting little place. And the manager was disgusting, and everything was disgusting. I mean, his accommodation, not the person. I mean, he looked in a hovel because it was a hovel. It wasn't his doing. And I know that we renovated that building and changed the feel of it. And that guy's an important guy for us, Chris. He's moved to another building of, twice as much revenue, twice as big, and he's got a bright future with us.
Great.
So we like to find diamonds in the rough. Who doesn't? We've been fortunate that we've been able to.
Yeah, fantastic. That's really cool that you talk about, building a grocery store, coming from the, being in the grocery business growing up, and then building it, like being now seeing it on the other end. I always, as as you mentioned, my grandfather owned a grocery store, and right behind me, you might not be able to see it, but the viewers should be able to. Yeah, there's a picture of my great grandfather and my great grandmother with my Zeta Sid in their grocery store, and it's a real inspiration for me. And I hope one day we can get back into that business somehow. It's a dream that maybe one of my kids get into it.
It's a tough business. We built a lot of grocery stores, though. We built at least a dozen, and we've got one just being renovated now, a Sobeys store, again across the street, as part of our redevelopment, and it's good.
Yeah, great.
People have to eat.
Yeah, fantastic. How have you seen through COVID? Obviously, there was a lot of working from home and more e-commerce and all of that. How have you seen that affect? Has that affected you guys in any way?
It has, but one of the things that Alex did when he 5 years ago was move us to the cloud. We had an IT provider that didn't want that because they could control more if we didn't do that. We did it. Okay. When COVID struck, we worked from home.
Right.
And with seamless. We have Teams meetings, and half the people could be in their offices in here, but we're having team meetings not to spread the virus. Right. But people like coming in here. There was always, I'd say, about 8 people here.
Okay.
Plus a Shindleman or 2 or 3.
Right.
And people, if they're not feeling great, if they have the sniffles, then they work from home because they can.
Yeah. Sure.
Because set up. Everybody's set up to work remotely. Right. But we don't think there's any benefits to it. I mean, a benefit to not driving to work and saving gasoline and not have to only have to wear a shirt, no pants, less dry cleaning.
Yeah.
We think that the mentoring and the training lacks, or we don't know how to do it properly on Teams or.
Yeah. Makes sense. Oh, very good. What advice would you give to any aspiring, property manager or developer? What would you tell them? If they were starting off, if you met Sandy, I guess it would be how many years ago? 40, 50 years ago. Yeah. What would you say?
Keep your eyes open. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should listen twice as much as you talk. And study things, and you can do that on your own. Study a shopping center that's doing well and one that isn't doing well. Maybe the access is poor, and maybe you can improve it by showing the city how a left in and a left out would be beneficial, and it would get better tenants and more rent and more assessment and more taxes and more jobs.
Yeah.
So just learn, get as much education as you can. I'm a big promoter of the CCIM Institute. It was very good for me, allowed me to do things myself that you only thought others could do. So that was very good. And just don't be greedy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, bring other people up with you.
Yeah, don't be greedy.
Yeah, I love it.
There'll be enough for you.
Yeah, fantastic. I know, this isn't really your department, but, as you know, I own a janitorial company.
Right.
What kind of qualities would Shindico be looking for the properties that under your umbrella when you're looking for a good janitorial company?
Well, we don't hire too many janitorial service because the tenants do that. And the types of tenants we have are not downtown office buildings anymore. The downtown office buildings that we manage are, I believe, one downtown office building. and it is 100% leased to the City of Winnipeg Assessment Department, and so they're in charge of the janitorial. I think we have janitorial here in our office, but I don't think we provide it to the main floor tenants.
Okay.
Retailers, of course, we don't do janitorial. Industrial, hell, they don't clean the places, so you wouldn't want to be pegged to be the one that's doing that work because you'd never get another job. So it's important that people be respectful and not look to do as little as possible. Look to do the full job, and then everyone wins.
Yeah. Fantastic. My next question is, I'll kind of add a component, because usually I ask, if you can manage any property, but also maybe if you could develop a property, if you could develop or manage any property, anywhere in the world, what would that be?
I kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't, we're doing big stuff, 40-story Portland Place mixed use in Toronto and Ottawa. That's exciting. The architecture is exciting. The planning for the Polo Park residential is exciting. As I say, it could be as much as $2 billion when complete.
Yeah.
Big job. We've got excellent partners in Cadillac Fairview. They hire smart people.
Yes.
The Main and Main experience has been good. We do all the back office, and the CFO for Main and Main is here in my offices. So we do all of that. We have some properties in the U.S. that we haven't been really that active on, and so we're sending some people down in the new year to get acquainted with my partners there and give them a little more outlook on something different. They can see something different, and they're smart. They're all smarter than I am.
Yeah. Amazing. You should be really proud. I mean, for you to be able to say that, you're doing what you would dream of doing, that's a beautiful statement. So congratulations on achieving that.
Yeah, I mean, there's hiccups and there's lying tenants and lying lenders and lying everything else. But I don't think that it would be any necessarily that much better someplace else.
Yeah. Excellent. Very nice. My last question is, what book would you recommend for aspiring property managers that would help them? It doesn't necessarily have to be right on property management, but something that you think that would really help in their...
enjoyed a book called The Autobiography of William Zeckendorf.
Okay.
It was published in 1970 by Holt Reinhardt Winston, and was reissued a few years ago by obviously somebody else. I've never heard of Holt Reinhardt and Winston for 50 years. It was a book. It was a book on his life. He built Place Ville Marie. He built the United Nations.
Wow.
He built the Brown Palace in Denver. Some really big work. He was a developer from New York. And it talks about when he got married and he took a suite of rooms in like some hotel. I can't remember the name of it. But it really got me interested in the development business and seeing that you could dream a little bigger dream of things that had not yet been built.
Wow. Amazing.
So, one book that comes to mind. We buy a lot of books, but we don't read them. We put them on a shelf.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got back here. Yeah. They're collecting dust now. I do audiobooks now, so this is where my bookshelf will never get bigger than this.
That's probably a lot better. So that was one good book.
Yeah,
if you can find it, The Autobiography of William Zeckendorf. He became Prizek, that you may have heard of.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, they were a big developer. I think they were taken over by the Reichmans or somebody. And he has a son, I think it's Bill Zeckendorf Jr., who might have been in the development business or is still in the development business.
Okay, all right.
He was in the development business for certain, and he can still be in the development business.
Okay. You got me. I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole on this now. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Well, that's amazing, Sandy. Thank you so much and all the things you're doing. I'm so honored that you're taking the time to speak to me and be on this podcast. I wish Shindico and yourself and your family much more continued success. And thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, Jared. And keep succeeding.
Thank you.
You're succeeding, so keep doing it.
Thank you, Sandy. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right.